Hi, how are you today? So, today's topic is going to be on breastfeeding issues and ways that you could probably solve them, or, just so you know that there's other options out there other than to stop. Um, with my own personal breastfeeding story, I breastfed in the hospital since, the moment that she came out, and everything was fine in the beginning. I was able to latch her on, but then after being there for a day, I started noticing that she didn't want to latch on, and only with the help of the nurses. Now, the baby was crying every time she was alone with me, and I couldn't get her to latch on. I was going crazy. I felt so bad. I was crying, all these emotions was going through my mind, and, it was just so much. And I thought it was crazy that I could only get her to latch on after so long, with the nurse's help. And I was wondering, oh my God, am I have to go through this at home? So pretty much my whole hospital stay was a wreck. But I was still, I still managed to be able to breastfeed her as much as I could. So once I got home, I was still having latching on problems, but I was able to pump like 2 ounces at a time, and it was pretty good. Um, but then I started wondering, like, what's going to happen when I actually have to put her on the boob? Like, how am I going to do this? Like, she will not latch on. And she wouldn't latch on because I had flat nipples. And it's really hard, for the baby to actually grab onto your boob when there's nothing to grab on, pretty much. And when I'm talking about nothing to grab on, I mean, like, as a nipple wise. So I went ahead and I bought a nipple shield. Now, for you guys that don't know what that is, it pretty much looks like a nipple. It's out of, like, I guess, silicone, and you put it on your boob, so when the baby, starts sucking on it, it can actually bring out your nipple, and the baby can, receive milk from there. So it's pretty good. I used that for about 3 months. Um, and let me tell you, it was a wonderful product. I had the Medela one. I also bought the Advent one, but I really like the Medela one. It's really good. Now, one thing that sucks about it is that it always falls off. Sometimes it, unlatches and you have to put it back on. And then once the baby gets older and starts grabbing onto things, as soon as you want to put it on, the baby grabs it out. So yeah, it's a hassle. But it did its job and it worked, and I couldn't be any happier than to have that. For the moms that don't have latching problems, but you know your milk production is low or something, you know what I'm saying, and your baby's getting aggravated because it's on the boob and he's not getting anything, and you just feel like you want to give up and your baby's hungry. Another way that you can do is by a supplemental nursing system. So what it is you put it around your neck, and it's a bag. You could put formula or breast milk that you've been donated, anything like that, and there's a little wire, well, a little tube that connects to your nipple. So when the baby is on the boob, and it's latched on, sucking on it, it won't get so aggravated because at the end of the day, it's getting the milk from the little sac. So your baby can be, sending messages to your, boobs and your brain, letting you know that you need to reproduce milk, and the baby can still be getting its milk, so it doesn't get frustrating. It could be on the boob more. So that's something that you could use. Honestly, I didn't use it, but I wish I would have. Maybe I wouldn't have so much problems. So that was really good. Um, Another thing is, I do recommend putting a lot of cream ointment on your nipple because it does get cracked, especially if you're a mom that exclusively pumps, because you just can't have the baby on the boob, and there's no way possible, and you just want to exclusively pump. Your boobs are going to get cracked and they're going to get sore. So I do suggest putting a lot of cream on it. They even have creams that are safe for babies now. So even before the feeding or after the feeding, you do want to put it on, especially when you go into the shower, because it will hurt. Another thing you can do is before you breastfeed, you can actually, massage your boobs. You could even pump for a little bit so your nipple can come out before you bring the baby to the boob, so it's easier for your baby to latch on. When it comes down to milk production, I always ate oatmeal, just oatmeal, 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 and that seemed to definitely increase my milk supply. Also, do take your postpartum prenatal vitamins. That's what I recommend. It's actually for nursing moms, so it's really good for you and baby. Another thing is water. Drink a lot of water. Um, you know, Also, I know moms that take fenugreek. I've taken it. Honestly, it has made my pee smell like maple syrup, and I did not notice any difference whatsoever, but other moms do. So, mother's milk tea, I took it. If you want to take it, you can. One of the, I believe it's La La Leche or something, they told me that the teas actually don't work because it has such low doses of each of the herbs that it's not enough to actually make a difference. But maybe it's all psychological, and the moms do think it works. So, hey, whatever works for you, right? So, that's something that's good. You could always get prescribed medicine, but I would stay away from that. But if that's what's going to help you, then by all means. So, other than that, um, I think I've covered what I've had to cover. But if you have any questions or concern, anything like that, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to tell you all the information that I know and that I can help you with. Obviously, have the baby on the boob as much as you can if you have low supply, because that's what's going to make the baby, bring a signal to you, letting you know to produce more milk. Um, what else? Definitely do nighttime feedings. I know that a lot of moms feel like, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to give it formula, but it does cause a dramatic drop on your milk, because that is like the peak hours for when you have to produce milk. So I would recommend doing nighttime feedings. Um, but yeah, of course, not every breastfeeding experience is going to work out, but if you do put your mind to it, and if you do try as much as you can, it will happen. It doesn't matter whether you have big boobs, small boobs, if you have little nipples, big nipples, it can happen. Trust me. You just have to look at all the resources. If you need help, ask for it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. Don't deal with this on your own, because you're going to stress yourself out. And I know, because I've stressed myself out. I was at the hospital room crying, telling the doctors that I felt so bad I wasn't able to do this for my daughter and all this other things, but at the end of the day, I could. The nurses there were telling me that I had to nurse while at the hospital, so I wouldn't be able to produce milk. And I told her, no, I will. And when I got home, I was able to produce milk. I didn't have to listen to her. If you're stressed, don't, force yourself. When the time is right, you will be able to do it. So that's all for today. So if you have any questions, like I said, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you out and assist you with whatever I can. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I do read up on a lot of things, and I have talked to a lot of people. So just let me know if you need help with anything. Bye.